are you going to post that 33 picture for everybody to look at and talk about that All-American who played at Ohio State?
The what?
Linebacker one. He was talking about, Payton was telling us about all these linebackers you keep showing on a screen. And
Oh yeah, I'm trying to. I did a couple of years ago. I'm trying to take the guys through. You have so many meetings, so it's like every day. What I'm trying to do is take them through every All-American linebacker that we've had, starting with Ike Kelly. Because it dawned on me last year, like Ike Kelly still comes to like the captain's dinner, so it's like he could be walking around and our guys have no like. When you're playing, you're like, there's just a bunch of old dudes that are here. And you don't really realize it when you're young. Like when you become a junior and a senior, you start to have an appreciation. Coach Tressel always taught us the history of this place. And so I'm like, we have a lot of guys who are from out of state. And even the in-state guys are just young, We did a little Mount Rushmore of Ohio State yesterday, and Edric Houston came and asked me the Mount Rushmore. I'm like, gosh. And when I mentioned Randy Gradishar, he never heard the name. And I'm like, they're just young. Like, it's not even, you know what I mean? It's not they don't care. They just don't know. So anyway, we started with Ike, and then we've gone Randy and Tom and Spiels, and we hit Pepper today. And I will definitely skip over myself. No, that's 100%.
Seriously?
Yeah.
No.
They already know that one.
I don't know if they know that one, to be honest with you.
I'm pretty sure. You're saving the best for last.
Sometimes I just got to remind them.
What have you seen Arvell grow?
He's playing so fast right now. I think, when he was young, trying to teach him just the scheme and everything about college football, it was a lot. It was overwhelming. You had to kind of pare it down. And now it's like he has this ability to not only his ability to diagnose. I think that's why I always fought for him to stay at linebacker. So if you remember freshman year, we had some injuries with Amari Abor, and then all of a sudden Veli went to DN, and I kept pounding the table just even as a GA, like he can see it as a linebacker. He's got to play off the ball. He's too freakish not to he can see the game well. And I'm like, if we keep putting him on the edge, then you lose that vision of seeing the game in the middle of the field. You see it all from this way. And so I'm glad we got him back. And then I pounded the table for Sonny to move the linebacker. But I think his diagnosing ability has just sped up, and now he can come off the field and he knows exactly what he did wrong on a play or what he did right and how he could change it the next time. And I think that's just growth. And I told him, he's not a very vocal guy, but I'm like, your play speaks volume. So, your way of leadership can just be with how hard you play. Everyone around you can, just catch that leadership by how hard you're going to be inspired by that. You don't have to be Cody. You don't have to be Sonny. Everyone's different in how they lead. Just be authentically you.
You said too freakish to keep out of the linebacker room. What were those freakish traits that stood out about him?
Oh, it's just physical. It's violence. It's violence at the point of attack, and his ability to run. Violence and ability to run. He can do a lot of different things that, you dream of when you get to the linebacker position.
He played a lot last year as a role player. How different does he kind of carry himself this year?
I think he has a lot more confidence. Him and Sonny and Payton, all three of those guys have a great rapport together. I really feel like, all three of them, I view all three as starters. Whether we're three backers or two backers, I think they're all just starters and they're pushing each other in that way. But I think he's just confident. And I think, Coach Patricia loves him, believes in him deeply, which I think has helped boost his confidence as well. And, I think if you talk to many people on our D staff about Arvell in general, they probably would all use the word freak to describe him.
Has there been any experimentation moving him around, maybe putting him on the edge in some odd fronts, maybe some stuff like that?
For right now, early in camp, we're kind of keeping things. We're trying to get really good at the fundamentals, but Arvell has, the ability to cut it loose. So I think that's when you describe freak. I think he's almost one of those guys that's positionless. He can work at multiple different spots. Now, a lot of that might come down to game planning, but he definitely has the talent level to do multiple things for us.
Is Riley proven? Good.
How much does Payton and his development kind of unlock what you guys can do in that linebacker room?
Well, a lot, because Payton, you just feel him every single practice. He is downhill. You can sense that wrestling background. That's why I loved it when we recruited him. I first developed my relationship with Payton when I was at Notre Dame, trying to get him to go there. And then when I came over here, it was like one of the first phone calls I made was to Payton to make sure that we were kind of getting on that recruiting train. And then we ended up getting him. He's downhill. He's physical. He has this tough guy leadership qualities that's similar to Tommy. And it's just like, when that ball is run between the tackles, like he's going to go down there and just, like, you'd be surprised if you got through a practice without chips off of his face mask, And obviously that's the way that I think the LB position should be played.
Where is he in relation to Arvell as that third guy last year and Cody the 2 years prior to that?
I see those three as like they're all just right here. Sonny, Arvell, and Payton are all right here. So I think having those three to be able to throw in them at any given time to keep everybody fresh as the game goes on. And Coach Patricia is, given he don't really care. It's like you're in charge of the rotation and let it roll. So, and that can be fluid. I tell the guys all the time, like, when you're at Ohio State, man, your locker is rented. Like, you don't own anything. Like, it's rented. These numbers are rented. Outside of, like, the GOATs who are players, Heisman's and Bill, like, those numbers are all rented. There's always going to be a number 33. There's always going to be another, 20. Like, so same thing with, like, you can have to go out in the field with Arvell and Sonny, and next thing you know, if, like, the week of practice doesn't show focus and dedication and improvement, then it could be Payton and whoever. Like, it's all fluid. Like, that is not concrete. I said the depth chart's never concrete. It's always moving. So it's all about their play.
Has Riley proven that he's ready to play right now, however that may look?
Yeah, I think Riley has proven, obviously getting your black stripe off is a big deal, but Riley has shown really a tremendous growth. Even from the spring, like, you saw the traits and stuff, but just mentally, I think he's studying better. I think he's starting to kind of get a feel for how things are done, at this level. And he's got a really strong fall camp. Still some mental things he's got to improve on. He's young. You have to take that in consideration, being a true freshman. But I expect, to see Riley on the field in some form or fashion, whether it's special teams or whatever it is, week one.
Who else has proven they can play for you, James?
I mean, Stove had a great day. I felt like Stove had a good day today. I think TJ is going to be a really good football player. Eli has shown flashes. So, I really love my room, honestly. You got to keep challenging the young guys. I mean, we're in a grind right now of, what we call like a yellow practice, then green. Like, this is a big week of movement because it's physical and, these are more mental days. You got to really just take it period by period because you can look up and be like, oh my gosh, we have this many plays to do today, and you'll be defeated by it. You really got to take it like, what am I going to do on these 4 plays that I got? Go rest. Think about the next 4.
With those guys being at the top of the depth chart the way that they are, what do you want to see from TJ and Eli that tell you that they can make a contribution, whether that's on special teams or whatever you guys might do?
Man, you got to be locked in mentally. It all starts with like, where do I line? I tell the guys all the time in the linebacker room, like, where do I line? What's my assignment? What are the adjustments that can come with this assignment? And if you know those threes at the back of your hand, well, now you can anticipate and play fast. So if you're out there and you're like, well, where do I align? You don't even know what formation the offense is in. Like, you're clueless. But if you know exactly where I align, oh, that tight end's off, he's looking back, he's about the motion. Hey, alert, we got to slide the front of the motion. You slide, now the rotation changes. Now I can look at, this tackle setting back or is he flat? Is it run past? Boom, set hut. But if you're out there like, where do I even put my eyes? Set hut, like, you'll just be frozen. So, like, it all starts with the young guys right away. Like, mentally, are you engaged? No mental errors. Can't play with mental errors. And then from there, it's just physicality and violence. And that's going to be everybody. Now, the older guys, you obviously expect no mental errors. Young guys, they're going to have some.
And then
A couple more
piggybacking
questions.
off of that, with Riley, I know that you don't put, like, individual expectations on guys, but for where you want your freshman linebackers to be on August 7th or whatever, is Riley ahead of where you kind of think a baseline freshman linebacker should be?
Trying to think. I mean, I'm still very young in this, so I'm trying to think of, like, yeah, I don't know. Every player is just so different. So that's a hard question to answer. I've been very impressed with him. I think physically he's shown that he, belongs and is ready for college football. Is he further along or not? I don't. Payton was really had a glimpses last year in camp. I feel like if Payton had a whole spring of last year going into fall camp, it would have been different. So that's really he's my only. Those him and Stover are my only guys that I'm trying to judge off of. But I've just been impressed with Riley. I'm not going to say whether he's further or less along.
What do you
You've been
remember
around
from?
5 or 6 months now with Matt. Has there been anything that surprised you about working with him?
No, I mean, he's so smart. And the blessing that I had was that when I worked for Al Golden at Notre Dame, Al worked with Matt at Detroit. So some of what Al did was what Matt does. And you mix that in with what Jim did. And now, there's so much that we did well last year. And so anything that has been new or added, like some of the terms, like, I've spoken that language before, but I've known Matt since he worked me out when he was with the Patriots. Must have been a bad workout because he didn't draft me. But I think he's just so smart, and the way he sees the game, and he's really helped our players as they get lined up and they identify what's the offense telling you when they line up. Like, don't just go out there. Like, they're telling you a story every single play, and a lot of times they motion and shift the window dress, the same formations and the same routes and the same runs. But one tight end's tight, the other one's deep and tucked in. Oh, hey, alert, pull, power. Like, call those things out. And I think he's helped with, like, the football intelligence with some of the young guys on our team kind of play the game within the game.
What do you remember
with you,
from
Tim,
getting
and
ready?
Matt, all having been in the league at a high level, have you seen that kind of like filter down? I mean, from an awareness standpoint of where y'all can get to, if you follow my drift there from
Yeah, I mean, I just think
but also teaching.
we have a really strong staff in general across the board. But like when you talk about Larry and obviously his experience is well documented, and Coach Guerreri is really smart and does an excellent job preparing the back end. And so obviously I've known Tim for a long time and what he's done with the corners, and Coach Patricia to all of it. So I think we work really well together. I think it's been a fun process to kind of get in a rhythm from spring through summer, and our guys are playing fast. I mean, it's perfect, but our guys are playing really fast right now.
What do you remember from getting ready for those Texas games, 20 years ago, and kind of the marquee matchup early in the season?
Gosh, has it really been 20 years? I remember getting in Ted Ginn Jr.'s way on a kick return. I was an up back, and I think there's a photo. I'm sure y'all can't wait to find it. But he's running right behind me on my kick return. He was way faster than me, so I should have got out of his way. He may have housed it. I just remember, like, how crazy the shoe was, my freshman year in 05. Remember, like, the Texas O-line, sometimes they were walking up to the line of scrimmage. Tim, you probably remember, you were like, I'm not going to say it. I was gonna say it. But they were, like, trying to pump up the crowd almost when they were on offense. Like, there was such a swag that game had. Like, those are two. I mean, that season had some really good football teams. I say all the time, like, the 05 team I was a part of was maybe one of the most talented, if not the most talented, that I've played on.
That's right.
And we lost to Texas at home in a 2-minute drive. I mean, you talk about the what-ifs there I'm not going to bring them up. You guys have already documented those. The what-ifs in that game, losing in Happy Valley. Then you beat Notre Dame. Like, you look around the country, and Penn State, where they were ranked, and Notre Dame was a dang good football team. And then USC and Texas are some really good football teams. So it's kind of like you just got unlucky with the year and kind of how it fell. And then 06 going down there, I just remember, like, in both games, the pageantry around it is why college football is so beautiful. Like, amidst everything, it's 1 versus 2. It's Texas, it's Ohio State, it's the history, it's the burnt orange, it's the scarlet and gray, and you're like, what else do you want? It's all the eyes are on it. And so I think Coach Day's done a really good job preparing our guys to, like, visualize that now. Don't wait till game week, but visualize it now. Like, visualize RVs out there, visualize tailgating, visualize hearing the band practicing, and kind of getting your mind right for that, what that's going to be like.